start. And okay, so we're at lesson 10. Let me just say this at the beginning. 10 is also going to be different than 9. Remember how yesterday, and I know yesterday was odd because we did Ames Web and then we had a short lesson, or shorter lesson sort of, but it was broken into 2 pieces before and after lunch. But we didn't do the workbook. Remember me telling you we did something different? We took out those tape diagrams because it was just something we felt was a little confusing. We're kind of doing that again today because what we're doing today is kind of continuing on from yesterday, almost like a review of yesterday. So it's just going to get us better at it, which is good if you weren't here yesterday and you needed to get caught up with us. So we won't be using the workbook again today. That was a lot of words to tell you we're not using the workbook. Anyway, let's start with some practice here just to get us thinking in a math way. All right, we haven't done some of this in a very long time. Okay. All right, so we're going to take this very large number, and it is large, so you're going to need a lot of space. In fact, when you write on your board, I would turn it the long way, this way, and you might even go like 2 rows, okay, because of the size of this number. I don't know. It just depends on how large you write and all that. Now, I want you to do your best to remember expanded form. Now, if you're having trouble getting started, let me just do the very first part for you. It would be 4 times what? 1 million, okay? And 1 million has the 6 zeros, like that. And then we would add it to, we'll add it to what comes in the next place value, and so on. So here you've gotten started. You go ahead and put that down, but then keep going, and we'll put the rest of it up there in a little bit. Let me give you a chance to remember how to do this. It's the digit times the place that it's in. Zeros, so just be careful with your zeros. You gotta ask yourself what place are each of those digits in. Got to keep going all the way to the 1's place.
Since I skipped the 0, I'm looking at the chart, but would I go ahead and go to 100 where the 0 is supposed to go, or would I skip to the 10?
You're asking, do you have to do anything with where the 0 is? What would come next? What would be our next little chunk? Yeah, Ishmael.
5 times 100,000.
Good. 5 times 100,000. Because it's the digit you see times the place that it's in. Then we would add that to, Gage, what would come next?
9 times 10,000.
Exactly. Good. 9 times 10,000. Because 9 is in the 10,000s place. Plus, okay, what's the next chunk, Charlotte?
2 times 1,000.
2 times 1,000. Plus, and I'm going to go on to the next row. All right, we've made it to here. What would come next? What would be the next thing that we would actually write, Mason? Now, could you do that? Yes. Do you have to do the zeros? No, and I've told y'all before a long time ago, you can jump over that. He said do 0 times 100, but we don't even have to do that, so we're going to jump over it. Okay, that's what confuses us sometimes when they give us this form and we have to write the actual number, because when they jump over those places, we forget to write those places as a 0 sometimes. Okay, so we would go to the tens place. All right, what would it be next, Alex? What would we put? 1 times 10. It almost feels too simple, but that's what it is. And then the very last piece of the puzzle here, Bailey, what would go at the very, very end? 1 times, or actually 2 times, yeah, there you go. Because it's the digit times the place it's in. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. It's been a long time. I can't even remember the last time we've done expanded form. But practice makes perfect. And, you know, just doing one even will bring it all back sometimes. Okay? We're going to round this number. I'm just going to use this right here, but I'm not going to write it until you do. So you can either erase your board if you still have space, or you can keep going. 9,382,921. Make sure you copy the number down correctly first. You're rounding to the nearest 100,000. Let me give you just a second to do that. What place are we going to go and find? What does it say, Isabella? The what? 100,000. What digit is in the 100,000s place? Will? Okay. Wait. No. 3. Okay. Here it is. There's the 100,000s place. What am I going to do right now? Where am I going to look? Faith, where am I going to look? To help me figure this out. Where am I going to look? I'm going to look to the 8. Exactly right. That's why I draw that arrow, just to help me remember. Plus, that's going to help me remember where to start my zeros, when I'm almost finished. I look at the 8. The 8 is going to tell that 3 to go up to a 4 or to stay a 3. Valerie, what do you think? Is the 8 going to tell the 3 to change or to stay the same? Think about our rhyme that we... What'd you write? Did you change the 3? Actually, Caleb, would we change the 3? We would change the 3 because it's an 8. If this is 5 or more, it's going to push that next number up, okay? So, I really probably should have written this over here. Let me rewrite this number, 9,382,921. Okay. This is going to change to a 4. And from the from the arrow over, these are all going to be zeros. So the answer is 400,000, right?
Yeah. I mean, no.
Okay. What's wrong with that, Martin?
You forgot to add the 9.
Okay. Guys, let me just say something. If this is what you got, you have to realize, we've got to catch this. 400,000 is not anywhere close to 9 million and all this. And your two answers here, or your answer's got to be close to the first number. So we've got to bring down that 9 like that. There's our answer. Okay. All right. So, moving on to what we're actually doing today. You can put the top on your marker, erase your board, just push all that to the corner. We're not going to spend a long time on this chart. I'm going to maybe pull some of the questions from here, but we're going to do it our way instead of the book's way today. So, right now I'm going to flip over to some space. Let me guess. Yep, there's our old friend. Oh, that's a different friend. Okay, I don't know.
This was the one we did.
Okay.
No.
Well, maybe, and that other one hasn't been popping up, so maybe.
The dinosaurs have
All right, so I want to ask you some questions. I don't know if it's questions. I want you to help me figure out, where did I put my list? That's not the list. I have 14 lists today. Sticky notes, sticky notes. Where's my teacher song about sticky notes? Anybody write one yet?
I don't think you should make your own song.
I should make it up?
I don't think it's
Should it be country? Should it be rap? Should it be
Rap.
pop music?
Country.
A country song about sticky notes all over my desk.
I'll
I'll work on that this weekend.
I got some sticky notes on my desk today. On my desk today. Let's go. Let's ride. I forgot the whole song.
We got a good start over here, though. All right, y'all, we'll have to work on that. Okay, now this has nothing to do with country songs, but
Yeah.
let's create some fractions right now. Okay, I want you to do some thinking. If we made a fraction about how many people are absent and present in our class, okay, how many total people do we have in our class?
14.
No, if everybody were here, how many total people do we have?
8.
We did have 18. We now have
17.
17. Okay. So if all the pieces are there, we have 17. Okay. How many are here? 14. Unfortunately, I don't know. Now, this 17 includes Josie, and I don't know if she's here or not today, but let's say that she is. So that would be 15, actually, wouldn't it? Okay, if we're talking about our whole class. Okay. So this is absent, present. No, that's not. I did it backwards, didn't I? That is present
So we have 17 that are absent.
versus all. Okay. Okay, let's create another fraction. Let's create a fraction that's boys and girls. Okay.
Put girls on the bottom because they have more.
Okay, how many boys do we have and how many girls do we have? You know what? Right now, let's go with who's in the room. Because it starts getting confusing when we're like, are we talking about people that are here or not here? Right now, let's just go with who's in the room. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay.
Oh, I didn't count the
How many boys are there? I mean, girls are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Okay. It doesn't. Oh, okay. Let's do this. All right. Just talking to the boys for a second. How many boys have blue eyes? Any boys in the room have blue eyes? One.
Well,
Okay.
my eyes change colors.
What are they most of the time?
Green.
Are they blue or green?
They change colors. Like it changes colors.
But what colors? What colors?
Green.
They're either green or what?
Blue, brown.
Oh, more than one, more than two. I mean, okay. You don't know what they are most of the time.
It's green most of the time.
Green most of the time.
It's purple.
Well, I don't want to leave you out. I mean, group you in. Let's group you in with blue. How about blue or green? How about? All right. If you're a boy in the room and you have brown eyes, raise your hand. How many of you don't know?
You have black eyes.
You have brown eyes.
It looks like
They're probably very, very dark.
Yours are dark brown. Yeah, brown. Okay, I'm brown.
All right, brown eyes. Raise your hand.
I know that one.
1, 2, 3. What are yours?
Green.
I've never had a ring with that many green eyes in it before. All right, we may have to. All right, let me start over.
Yeah.
If you're a boy and you have blue or green eyes, raise your hand. Okay. If boys that have brown eyes, raise your hand. Okay.
Mine changes to black sometimes. 3/3.
All right. That's boys' eyes. I'm just doing this for fun, just to give us some numbers to work with. All right, so girls, if you have blue or green eyes, raise your hand. You're gonna make me have 0. I don't want to have 0. Okay, if you have brown eyes, raise your hand, girls. Okay, we'll back up and we'll start over. Okay, that's what. All right, let me start over. I wasn't really throwing hazel out there unless somebody said, because typically that those aren't as common. Neither are green. So we have a lot of rare eyes in our room. Okay, so let's start over. Girls, if you have blue, green, or hazel eyes, raise your hand. 2? Okay. All right. If you have brown eyes, girls, raise your hand. 2, 3, 4, 5. Jayla, here's your brown, aren't they? Yeah. Okay.
I'm not a girl. I'm not a girl.
Okay. We're just doing this for fun to get some fractions on the board. Okay. If you have a dog at your house, now y'all are going to help me do this. We're going to do this we've got 14 in the room. Okay. So we have a total, you know what? I think I just did something wrong. I didn't do those exactly like I should have. I may come back and fix them. But I'm trying to get a variety of fractions up here, so I may keep them. Okay. All right, we have 14 people in the room. What fraction of the people in the room have a dog? Raise your hand if you have a dog that lives at your house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12/14 of us have a dog. Okay. All right, there are 14 people in the room. Raise your hand. What fraction of us has a cat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/14 of us have a cat. Okay. All right. Now, there were how many boys in the room?
6.
No, actually, those are right. 2/6 of the girls have.
One.
Did I not even write the fraction for the brown eyes?
Yeah, you did. You did.
Where?
6. Oh yeah.
That's for hazel eyes.
Yeah, but you put 3 in yours.
And that's for boys that have. That's not right. Something about that.
That's not right.
I gotta go back and fix. I'll fix. It's the eye ones. I'll get it fixed in a second. Okay. If you are a boy, and there were what, 6 boys? 1, 2 in the room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. All right. Of the 6 boys in the room, how many of you have on tennis shoes? Raise your hand if you have on tennis shoes today. Raise your hand if you have on tennis shoes today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Out of the boys in the room, if you have on boots, raise your hand today. Okay. 1/6 of you has boots. Okay. Out of the girls in the room, there are 8 girls in the room. Raise your hand if you have on tennis shoes. What fraction of our girls has tennis shoes? 1, 2, 3. Okay. 3/8. And then, okay, 4/8. All right. What fraction of the girls have on boots? Okay. We have 8 girls, so you either have on. Most of us usually have those tennis shoes.
What about Charlotte?
Okay, those are tennis shoes. They're just wedge tennis shoes. Okay. So did y'all raise your hand? No. Okay. So let me fix that. We're now up to 6/8. Okay. Well, you know what? As many styles of girl shoes as there are, it is confusing, isn't it? Because there's a lot of different kinds. Those are tennis shoes. They're just wedge tennis shoes. They have that little heel in them. All right. So if you have boots, girls, was it 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So 2/8. All right. So I'm gonna go back to the eyes for just a second because I did this wrong. Shh, please don't get chatty. Okay. We have 6 boys. 3 of you had the blue, green, hazel. Okay. All right. Girls, 2 of you had the blue, green, hazel. I'm just gonna put it out beside it. But boys that had brown or very, very dark brown was 1, 2, 3. So that was also 3/6. And girls that had brown eyes, can you raise your hands one more time? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because that should add up to 6. No. Raise your hand again. There's not 6 of you. There's 8 of you. Maybe that's where.
That's probably what messed me up.
That's probably what messed me up. All right, and so those together should equal 8/8, and that should equal 6/6. All right, so that does now. Okay. Knew something didn't look right somewhere. All right, so you have several different fractions up there, and it doesn't matter what the words are. I'm kind of going to just get rid of those for now. You might be able to remember what those things were about. Okay? All right, I want you to pick one fraction up there and put it on your board. Any of those fractions. Okay. Just put it on your board. And then what I want you to do is to use multiplication to create an equivalent fraction. Use multiplication to create an equivalent fraction. This is multiplication, so you can choose any number to multiply by, can't you? Except we're not going to use 0 or 1. You want to tell me your answer? Okay, just hold on just a second. Okay, I'll get some of yours in just a minute. You can tell us before we start giving examples. I don't want to know your numbers right now. What I want somebody to be able to tell us is if I use multiplication to create an equal fraction, an equivalent fraction, what do I have to do? If you were showing somebody that didn't know how to do this, what would you say to them, Martin?
You can multiply by any number. get an equivalent fraction.
So Martin says I can multiply by any number. So if I chose this 2/8 right here, I could go 2/8 times 5 equals something. Right? Okay. Will, what do you want to add?
You have to multiply the denominator and the numerator by the same number.
Okay. Now, it wasn't that Martin's information was wrong. It's just we needed more specific, didn't we? Okay. Do we multiply by any number? Sure. But we need to make sure we're doing it correctly. So Will's added on that we're going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, and we're going to get an equivalent fraction. What's 2 times 5?
10.
10. What's 8 times 5?
40.
40. 40.
Yeah.
So if I wanted an equivalent fraction to 2/8, I could create 10/40, and they are equal to the same amount. Doesn't sound like they are, but they are. Okay. All right. So that's one example right there. Let me hear a few of your examples. Just tell me what you started with, what you multiplied by, and then what you finished with. Okay. Isabella, what you got? Which one did you pick? 5/6. Okay. So you had 5/6. What did you choose to multiply by? 4? 3? 2? Okay. All right, here we go. So 5 times 2. And 6 times 2. All right, so you got 10/12. Anybody else choose that one and get that exact thing? Wouldn't it be funny if everybody chose the same fraction and the same thing to multiply? You know, y'all did that the other day. I was expecting all these different fractions, and everybody in here, I think, multiplied by 3 and got the same thing. It was. Did I tell y'all this story? But I did the same thing in second period, and I told them, let's try to come up with some different fractions. First period, they were still asleep, and a lot of them came up with the same fraction, and they did. And then I had one person. Do you know what they chose to multiply by? 7,777,777.
Who was it?
But could you do that?
Yes. That was a random
Okay.
number.
So, well, I checked the work on the calculator.
So was it?
All right, Gage, what did you have? Hold on.
1/6 times 2.
1/6, okay. And then you multiplied both the new by 4. And so what'd you come up with?
4/24.
Okay, 4/24. Anybody get that one? Okay. It's not as likely this time that we'll get the same thing. All right, Charlotte, give us another example.
36 times 2.
36. You multiplied the numerator and the denominator by 2. I like fractions. They're a lot of fun. But I wish they would come up with another name for the numerator and denominator because it's hard to say. Wish they had some short names.
But it's easy to
Okay, that's why sometimes I accidentally say the top and bottom. Okay. 6/12. All right, Will, what'd you come up with?
I did 36
Okay.
and did 30 times 11 and 6 times
Times 11.
11.
That's a fun one to choose sometimes. Hardly anybody chooses it, and because we get 9 and beyond, and people don't want to choose a number that large. But choosing 10, choosing 11, they're not difficult. 33/66.
Or you do 6 times 1,
What you got?
6 times 1.
So Ishmael, you want to share yours?
Wait, I started with 12.
You started with what?
12, 14.
Oh wow, 12/14.
That's which one I was going to do at first.
Okay.
And I multiplied 3.
Multiplied by 3. Okay. Wondering how big you got here.
For my numerator, I got 36.
Okay.
And my denominator, I got
42.
42.
Okay. Making sure I heard you right. Okay. Denominator. He knows what he's talking about. All right. 36 40 seconds or 36 42s. I think you'd say 40 seconds.
36,
I'd have to look that up.
42.
Okay.
At least I was close.
We would know what you meant if you said 42s, but I don't think that's the official way you say it. All right.
36.
Let's go with one more, and then we're going to do this again, and I'll share some others then. All right. Go ahead.
I did 36 times 9, and my numerator is 27, and my denominator is 54.
All right. Kudos to you for grabbing the 9. You know, kudos means like bravo, like good job, because we don't like that 9 sometimes. 3 times 9 is 27, and what did you say for the bottom?
54.
Yeah. 27 54ths. Okay.
I like the 9 because my mom showed me a way to do it.
Yeah. There are several methods out there to help you remember them. Okay, so clear your board. We're going to do one more.
Yay!
Okay, I'm telling you, the excitement is in you. Sometimes it comes out, sometimes it doesn't, but it's in there. Hi, Alex, you loving this? I know it. I can tell. All right, so pick a different fraction this time. Pick a different fraction, put it on your board. Come on.
Can we do the same fraction but multiply by
I
something
can pick
different?
for you.
No.
Okay. Is that 15 17 up there looking pretty good? Okay. Oh, I got a brave one up here. Okay, pick it. Come on. All right, pick something different to multiply by this time.
No. Why?
Because it's Friday and you love this.
I was doing a good one.
Pick something different to multiply by. It's still not 0, still not 1.
I'm gonna have another shot.
All right, keep going because I'm not going to be quite long. Okay. Right, while you're finishing up, let me go ahead and get a few examples. All right, go ahead.
I did 3 times 30.
Oh.
I done 3 6, and then I done 30.
You multiplied by 30? Oh, okay. I was making sure that wasn't your, like,
No.
answer.
It's all mine.
Okay, but you know what? He chose a multiple of 10, which is really not that difficult, is it? Okay, so what did you get?
I got 90 on the top, and then for the bottom I got 180.
Okay, if you know much about, well, we haven't done angles and degrees yet, but 90 is half of 180. 3 is half of 6. Both of these are equal to 1/2. Okay.
I got angles.
All right. Yeah, you might have talked about them a little bit. We're going to do more. All right, I need somebody's hand that I have not gotten a fraction from. Yeah. Okay, what fraction did you start with? 12 14. Okay, hold on. 12 14. You multiplied by what? 12. Okay, cool. Multiplied by 12 on the numerator and the denominator, and what did you get? 168. Am I hearing you right? Okay. All right. Okay. Who else have I not heard from? You've not given me one at all up here. Sorry. Just don't. Go ahead. What? Did you? All right. 15 17. More than one brave person in the room. Okay. Multiplied by 3. That 45 51s, 45 51st, 50. Google,
I'm just
help
doing
me.
fire.
Okay. All right. Good job. All right. But I've heard right.
Hey Siri.
Okay. Yeah. Hey Sarah. All right. Hold on because we're gonna keep going. We're not done. All right. This time, clear your board.
No, I'm never gonna clear. I think what's working.
No. Don't pick anything yet. Let me give you the directions first because that might change what you pick. Okay, listen. This time I want you to pick a fraction, but you're going to create an equal or equivalent fraction using division. Now, division is different in this way. Okay. Division is different in this way. You know, with multiplication, I can choose any number I want to multiply it by, can I? But with division, I've got to make sure that whatever number I divide by can divide evenly into both numbers. Okay? Let's think for just a second. The things that divide evenly into 5 are probably not going to be the things that divide evenly into 6 because they're so close together. Okay? Alright, so give this some thought. This may take us a little bit more thinking. Choose a fraction that you think you can divide evenly by the same number on the top and the bottom, the numerator and denominator. You can go ahead and try and create that equivalent fraction. Just give it a try. And if you try it with one of your fractions and it doesn't work, erase it and pick another one. Right, if you've got 1, can you divide it by 2?
Yes.
I can get a group of 2
No.
out of that?
No.
Now, if we start, well, if you have it 1/2 and all that, but no, you got to divide it evenly with whole numbers right now. That's where we're going to stay for right now.
So this is wrong.
You just can't do it. Okay.
But I can divide by 2.
Not with that fraction.
I did this.
Oh, yeah, if it'll work. Alright, I'm going to give you another minute. This is taking a little more thought. Okay. Not multiply, we're dividing. Multiply, dividing. Does anybody feel like they worked one out and it worked out right on your board?
Yes.
Okay, I don't. We're gonna raise her hand. Okay, which fraction did you choose?
6/8.
6/8.
And I divided by 2.
Okay, you chose to divide by 2. Now, there's a clue that you can divide these by 2. They are both what kind of numbers? They're both even numbers, so I know I can divide them by 2.
And I got 4.
Okay, so 6 divided by 2 is 3. That's correct. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. So that is true. Okay, that works. Yesterday in second period, there were times where we'd have a number like 2, and then it would say out beside it, divide it by 2. And everybody forget what that was. If you forget, even with these small numbers, write it this way. 2 divided by 2. And then y'all kind of know what question to ask. How many groups of 2 can I get out of 2? Well, it's just 1. Any number divided by itself is always 1. If I have 5, how many groups of 5 can I get out of that 5? Just 1. If I have a million, how many groups of a million can I get out of a million? Just 1. Okay. All right, so Charlotte thinks she has an example for us. Let's listen to that. What'd you start with?
2/8.
2/8. And you
Divided by 2.
divided by 2. First of all, is that going to work? Can she divide by 2?
Mm-hmm.
She can because both of these are even. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. What'd you come up with? 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. That works. Anybody else want to share an example? Okay, what'd you get? Or what'd you start with?
I did 2 eighths.
Okay, let me get, hold on. Okay, 2 eighths. What'd you divide by? Same thing? And you got 2 fourths? Not 2 fourths. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Any number divided by itself, and we're just not used to that. And it seems so simple at first. I still have to go, oh yeah, any number divided by itself is 1. Okay? All right. Any number divided by 1
Is 1.
is itself.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes you have to stop and remind yourself which way that goes. All right, so let's stop with this right here. Go ahead and clear your board. Okay. We're going to do some practice right now before we do our problem set. I'm not going to put the slides on the board. We're just going to, because they're asking you to draw a model, and we know we're not doing that. I'm just going to use the problems from the board. I jumped over that one. Hold on. So if we have, hold on. This fraction, okay? We have that fraction. Using division. Now we're going division right now, guys. Okay? Using division, our markers are down right now. Let's create an equivalent fraction. Okay? What are some things we could divide by? Which numbers would work with both of those? What's a number we could divide by? Yeah.
5.
Okay, I know I can divide 10 by 5, but can I divide 12 by 5? Not evenly. There would be a remainder, wouldn't there? We can't have remainders. At least not in 4th grade. Okay? We're doing 4th grade stuff. Okay, so I can't divide by 5. What?
4.
Can I divide 10 by 4?
I know.
It won't go in evenly, so 4 won't work. Yep. I definitely can do 2. Those are both even numbers. I know I can do 2. Is there anything else?
Yeah.
Is there?
No. Let's see.
Alright, so on your board, let's figure out. Go ahead and write 10 twelfths, and we're going to divide it by 2. Okay, you need to write all of that, and then I want you to go ahead and work it out. Okay, let's write quickly. Okay, so you figure out what is 10 divided by 2. Write it. What is 12 divided by 2? Write it. 10 divided by 2 is not 10. How many times? 10 divided by 2. How many groups of 2 can I get out of 10? But guys, you're seeing a lot of fact families here. When you have a 10 and you have a 2 in multiplication and division, what's the missing number? Okay, don't say it. We'll say it in a second. Alright, what is our numerator? 5. What is our denominator now, everybody? 6. Because 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay. 5, 6. And that's the smallest we can get with that fraction. That fraction is in, here's the 5th grade answer here. That fraction is in simplest form. We can't divide it any further. Okay. Alright, let's try another one. Go ahead and clear that off your board. And actually, this is not where you're going to figure out an equivalent fraction. This is where you're going to tell me if you think this is true or false. Remember we did those true or false ones? Here we have 6/10, and then I'm going to say that it's equivalent to 3/5. fifths. Now, what you're going to need to do is figure out what goes here. What happened from here to here and one from here to here. And is this true or is this false? Okay. How did we get from 6 to 3? And how did we get from 10 to 5? Now, when we multiply, the numbers get larger. Is this number getting larger?
No.
Is this number getting larger?
No.
No, they're both getting smaller. We're not multiplying, we are dividing. That's a huge clue that you've divided. Okay. What have they divided by? Because if this is going to be true, we've got to divide by the same number, top and bottom, numerator, denominator. What?
We divided by 2.
All right, so you're saying 6 divided by 2 would equal 3. Is that true, everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, but the same has to be true right here. 10 divided by 2, is that 5? Yes. Okay, so yes, this is a true statement. 6/10 is equal to 3/5. Okay. All right, just one or two more. All right, this time we're going back to what we did at first. I want you to create an equivalent fraction, but not with multiplication. I want you to create an equivalent fraction with division. With division. What is something you could divide both the top and the bottom? And this time there's more than one number. Sometimes there's only one number you can divide by. Sometimes there's more than one. In 5th grade, you're going to search for the largest number that you can divide both of them by.
5.
Gage, what did you do?
I did 8 12 divided by 2.
So you divided the numerator and the denominator by 2. Okay, and what'd you get?
4 6.
How many of you did that right there? And I figured a lot of us did. But you know what? I could keep dividing that, couldn't I?
Yeah.
It's not in its simplest form. So there is another number out there that I could have. What else could we have divided by? Will? Okay, you could have done. Now this one, perfectly okay. This is great. Okay? I'm just showing you could have done this as well so that we understand there's more than one way to do this. So he divided the top and the bottom by 4. You might have recognized 4 in those fact families. Okay? Anybody else use 4? Okay, not this time. What'd you get? 2/3. Okay, and that's in 5th grade. We would say that's in its simplest form. It can't be made any smaller than that. You can't divide it anymore. Okay. Good. I'm glad we saw both of those. All right, this is our last. I got to show y'all this slide. This cracks me up. Okay. How do I do that? Do you feel like that some days? What?
Yeah.
What does she want me to do?
Is that a bean?
Okay. So, look at the question though, and this is what we've already just done. I just wanted you to see the cat. Reduce 8/12 to the simplest form without using an area model. Now y'all created, we just used, this is the exact one we just put on the board. The simplest form would have been the one Will created where he divided by the biggest number we could possibly divide by. Alright, whoever that is, grab it and put it away, please. Okay. Alright. Y'all like the cat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cats are funny to me. They're just hilarious. But anyway.
I like how
How do I do, that's what made me crack up in the picture. How do I do that? Because I see that look on y'all's face some days. Yeah. What? How do we do that? Okay. So, because you might have that question still, our problem set, in just a minute, we're going to work differently. We are going to take our break real quick before we start practicing. If you clear off your board and go ahead and put it away. Okay, folks at home, there is a worksheet attached to this lesson, and you will need to do both sides of it. It's going to look like two separate worksheets to you, but it's front back to us. And on one side there are shapes, the other side there is not. Okay, that is your problem set today. So work those through, and that will be in place of your workbook. So if I accidentally left the workbook pages listed there, just ignore that and do the worksheet that's attached. All right. So let's mask up and line up. We'll get directions for that worksheet when we come back. Hold on.